What's up, GQ? I'm Allen Onyia, and today we're going to be breaking down the first class of inductees into the GQ Sports Style Hall of Fame. Allen Iverson, Deion Sanders, and Derek Jeter. Well, there was Jordan, and then there was Allen Iverson. From the arm sleeve, from LeBron to Russell to like Shea Gilgeous, like all the athletes now, it's like the arm sleeve is part of their uniform in a sense. Allen Iverson, has to get, top nod for that. His headband, like how can you even get that out of your mind? Anytime I see anybody wearing a headband, I think of Allen Iverson. His style was infectious. Obviously, tattoos, the braids. There was nothing like Allen Iverson on court. Allen Iverson was like the clash from the sports athlete and like culture and the hip hop culture, the music culture. And this look right here is like it's a perfect example of that, from the sweats to the Timberlands to the do-rag. This is straight out of like a Rockaware shoot, that whole era, baggy sweats, Timberlands, do-rag. Allen Iverson was, just kind of right in tune with what was going on. I think this is a perfect example why the NBA dress code was implemented, because you went from like Michael Jordan, clean, suited up, to like the polar opposite, just overnight, really, because Allen Iverson played like to the tier end of Jordan's career. So overnight, you went from clean suit, sharp, gold little loop earring, to like do-rag, long chain, baggy sweats, big t-shirt, Timberlands. I don't think the NBA knew how to market that. They knew how to market Jordan. They weren't sure how to market Iverson. And as Iverson was quickly becoming the face of the league, they weren't sure what to do with that. He kind of showed everyone that the culture can be marketed, and I think that's a perfect example of that. This feels like 2023. I could see like Kuzma wearing this. Like, as you can see, style has gone from that very like form-fitting European look, and now everything's gone more very baggy and casual. And so this look feels like, even though it's 05, it feels like now too. Players are always carrying when they walk into the tunnel, the little, little pouch, or whether it's Goyard or LV. And then he has his baggy jeans, and it looks like those are creative Rakes. I don't know if anybody remembers those sneakers, but those had a nice little run. It's probably one of my favorite Iverson looks. I think what was really cool about Deion was that he's a two-sport athlete, being able to play baseball and be able to play football. Those are two different worlds. Like, baseball is super traditional. How it's played, the energy that you can carry when you're playing, the style of it, and football is like the total opposite. The fact that he was able to juggle both sides speaks volumes to his ability to tap into one side of the world and tap into the other side of the world. And I think Deion, as you can see, as he's made a name for himself in coaching now, you can show how he can kind of tap into all sorts of people. The iconic bandana, I think Deion did a great job of connecting that to him. Remember when he did his Hall of Fame speech, he was upset at his bust because his bust didn't have his bandana attached to it, so he wrapped a bandana around his bust. The bandana and Deion are like one. The bandana just was something that I think we all emulated and tried to do, And I remember we played football out on the playground. There'd be 7, 8 kids with different color bandanas running around thinking they're Deion. That's an example of branding. That's an example of finding an accessory to separate yourself from everyone else. And I think everything Deion did was very, very intentional. He wanted to always look different, and he was always thinking about how he could market himself. That's the genius of Deion. This is the epitome of look good, feel good, play good. Flashy with it, but chill and sharp. Obviously the suits are a little bit bigger because that was the style of the time, but this is Deion. The glasses are dope, the hat is dope. Like, this is a vibe. This is like a Gucci campaign from like last year or something. Like, it feels like that type of energy. Clean cut, sharp, a pretty boy. You think of Derek Jeter. He was the face of the Yankees for years and years and years. It epitomizes what a Yankee looked like. They had so many restrictions. They had to keep their hair on their head short. They couldn't have facial hair. So I think it limited a lot of his style exploration. For baseball players, you see a lot of them, they would focus more on that one chain that they can wear. And so you would see a lot of his photos. He would intentionally unbutton his top a little bit so you can see his chain. And a lot of those things are ways to kind of show what I'm rocking with. Jordan was a huge, huge brand. And so for Jordan to anoint him to being the first like Jordan athlete was huge. When Jordan kind of gave him that, you know, that mark, you had to respect it. So I think what Jordan loved about Derek Jeter was that Derek Jeter reminded him a lot of himself. And you can see it in the suits. Like, these are suits that I can see Jordan really, really like, oh, you killed that one. Like this blue with the black, very, very clean, very, very sharp. The color blocking is cool. When he signed that Jordan brand contract, you know, Jordan was like, here, this is my suit guy. I'm gonna hook you up. And you know, Jeter's like looking like, hey, if Jordan tells you that this is the suit guy, I'm going with it. So suits definitely boxy, oversized. But if anyone's paying attention, it's slowly creeping back into this same sort of like silhouette. It might not be, the details might not be the same, but the silhouette is coming back. You know, the baggier, oversized bottoms and boxy tops are definitely coming in. Fashion is one big circle, you know, comes and goes. The leisure suit, that's what I call this, and it's only leisure because instead of the shirt and tie, it's a t-shirt. As you can see now, if you go to any like event that people are required to dress up, you will see this. This is a look that's, I think, here to stay, and it's not going anywhere. And what I love about this is that, you know, there was a time when, you know, we went from all we wore on the side of our hips when you see anyone was a pager, and it evolved into like sidekicks on our phones. But this is like a flashback into the past. Actually, what we've replaced the pager with now is probably these fanny packs that we all wear. So the fanny pack is the new pager for sure. Derek Jeter playing in New York, having to be clean cut and sharp. He was tough to compete with, you know, and this, I'm not talking about like on the field, on the diamond. I'm talking about like for the guys on the Bachelor scene, Derek Jeter was a problem. And if you know, you know. So possible future inductees. I'm gonna start with David Beckham. I think David Beckham, for me, is one of my style icons. Anybody who knows me, I champion David Beckham. I think David Beckham just brought this edge to being a pretty boy that was very, very new for me. Like, so, you know, you see Derek Jeter, which is clean, sharp, pretty boy, but David Beckham brought this attitude and this edge, and his tattoos kind of was a reflection of that. His different hairstyles, he rode like bikes, and just not the norm at the time. And now you see, you know, his look and what he kind of introduced and kind of made popular is the norm. So David Beckham for sure. Dennis Rodman on the basketball side. Like, anybody who could, you know, wear dresses at that time was way ahead of your time. I remember Kid Cudi recently got a lot of noise for paying homage to Kurt Cobain and performing wearing a dress, and if you can imagine the heat Kid Cudi got for that, imagine what Dennis Rodman was getting back then, and he didn't care. And so with that, and the hair color and the dyeing of the hair, and you see everyone dyeing their hair now. No one even thinks twice about it. I was in Fashion Week in Paris, and Usher had like his hair like bright orange. In my mind, I'm thinking Rodman was getting like flack for this. I know the NBA was trying to figure out, like, he probably got emails after emails, and his agents got hit up saying, hey, can we get him to like tone that down a bit? Yeah, Rodman for sure. Guys playing today that I think, you know, are on their way, definitely Russell Westbrook. Anytime I'm anywhere, when anybody who's dressing a little bit out the box automatically is called Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook for sure. I see Kuzma definitely making some noise. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's definitely making some noise. Kevin Love. Kevin Love is a sleeper. He's been putting in a lot of work, and he represents the opposite end of the spectrum, but I love Kevin Love's looks. I think it feels good. It feels like history. It just makes you feel good. So Kevin Love, definitely, I think people will be like, Kevin Love, but if you go back and look at Kevin Love's looks and the consistency of it, he tells a great story with his style. I'm Allen Onyia. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Salute.